everyone, and welcome to Bottom Line with Ronnie and Byron. We have a lot of news to get to you, and we're going to start with our elections for midterm. Our local elections took place this past week, and we have 2 new county commissioners for Jackson County and 2 new school board members. District 1 school board member race, we had Cephas Granberry against Samantha Engelbrandt, and that win went to Cephas Granberry. He won by 59%. Engelbrandt came in at 22%, and George Welch took 19%. So congratulations to Cephas Granberry on being the new school board member for District 1. Then we go on to District 5 school board member race, and that race was involving Michael Jackson and Dave Galloway. Michael Jackson came out the winner. He won with 66%, and Dave Galloway ended up with 34%. Congratulations, Michael Jackson. Then we'll move on to county commissioners. There were 2 races under the county commissioner. We had District 2, where we had Edward Crutchfield. Edward Crutchfield faced off with Peter Fortunato. Crutchfield pulled it off with 56%. Fortunato ended up with 44%. And then Donnie Branch in District 4 was the winner for county commissioner. Donnie Branch upset the incumbent, Eric Hill. Donnie Branch took 56%, and Eric Hill ended up with 44%. So again, congratulations to our new school board members, as well as our county commissioner. Eric Hill is no longer a county commissioner for District 4. All right, Byron, you got those results for our local election. I'm going to move on to some of the state elections. We did have state representative Shane Abbott, who defeated Vance Coley and Clint Pate. So congratulations to Shane Abbott. And then we had a congressional race in our area. We had the U.S. Senate, Val Demings. Val Demings is the primary Democratic primary winner, and she'll go on to the general elections, which will be in November. So everybody stay tuned for the upcoming elections in November. So we will have a Senate general election, as well as the U.S. representative. Okay. All right. So now I want to go on to some local news that took place this week. We had a mistrial declared in a Janine Hall case. That case happened this week, and the jury was out. They deliberated from 3:30 on Wednesday, Byron, to like 7:45, and they came back and said they could not reach a verdict. So a mistrial was declared. I don't know if you're familiar with the case, but Janine Hall was a former employee in the Jackson County Tax Collector Office, and she was accused of stealing over $100,000, one kind of scheme to defraud, and 125 counts of forgery. So how they explained it, Byron, is what she was doing is apparently writing checks, and they were supposed to be for like, I think, $775, and she would write it for $1,000, and of course she would take the difference, $225 in increments like that, and mounted up to $100,000 that she was accused of stealing. So that declares a mistrial.
So she was accused of like skimming off the top a little bit.
Exactly, that's what you say. According to Hess, matter of fact, he actually testified, but again, the jury could not come up with a verdict. So we got that. And then also locally, we had one of our local attorneys, LaDre Gilbert, was arrested this past week, counted for grand theft as well as money laundering. So that also took place this week. One of the local attorneys. And so with that said, I want to go ahead and move on to an interesting story in Bay County. We have 20 teachers that resigned during the first week of school. Isn't that interesting? 20.
Yeah. That's crazy. And they just came off of a big, hiring that would have got them, got their head above water, and in the first few weeks of school, boom, 20 gone. That's
And it does not say why. It didn't say why, but I don't know, Byron. It's just kind of, I hate that.
Feel weird, don't it? Like is it a statement they're making or what? That'll be interesting to find out what was the cause of all 20. Is it from the same school?
There is a consensus that's going on that it's hard to get teachers because they're concerned with the behavior of the kids, the behavior of the parents. And so a lot of people don't have the patience to deal with some of the stuff that happens now on behalf of the student. You have a kindergarten cursing teachers out, you have the parents backing that kid up, and it's just not, a good scenario in some cases that are experiencing that. So that's a lot of the deterrent of teachers just not wanting to teach anymore. So, so too bad for that. Yeah. But I wanted to bring up our local and state news. This is brought to you by Brightway Insurance. Brightway Insurance is located in Marianna at 2867 Caledonia Street. You can reach them at 850-633-3460 for any of your insurance needs. Byron, another story I want to get to is President Biden, as you know, have offered a plan to forgive student loans, which is, welcoming. However, our Governor Ron DeSantis, says it's unconstitutional and that the universities should foot the bill. So just want to put that out there. Biden has his plan to forgive it. However, our local governor is saying it's not constitutional. So we want to watch that and keep our eye on that. And then lastly, go ahead.
He got a good point there. He do have a good point. The schools the one got you paying all that money. Government ain't got no bit of paying. I understand he coming to the point.
But I don't want him to dismiss the opportunity for a lot of people to get their loans. Because that's a huge burden. So we all know that, right?
Yeah, you're right about that.
All right. So now the last story I want to just kind of mention is that our next step at Endeavor Academy is beginning to start their actual school program on Monday, which is August the 29th. The students will go for like 2-hour in-class session, and then they'll do some on-the-job training. So that's the School for Autism, if you're not aware, but it is opening on Monday, and we brought on the director before. We've had her on the show before, and so we'll have to bring her back and just kind of talk about, how this program is going. And her name is Tammy Dasher. Remember Tammy?
Yep. I definitely do.
So and make sure that kind of get an update.
And it'd be great to bring her back. That just now the school is open and running and get it back. Yeah.
And it's a 2-year transition program too. So again, we'll try to bring her back. Again, local and state news is brought to you by Brightway Insurance. Brightway Insurance, you can reach them at 850-633-3460. So that's all the local and state news I want to touch on today. What do you have for national news?
So for national, before I get into it, I want to mention People's Funeral Home. They're here when you need us. Long Granbury Funeral Services Incorporated, doing business as People's Funeral Home. Their caring staff is available 24/7, or when the need arises. Please give Cephas, a newly elected District 1 school board representative, and Ms. Gwen Long a call at 850-482-2233. Again, that's 850-482-2233. Confusing for me, but the Fed saying that they could keep lifting rates sharply for some time. The Federal Reserve Chair Jerome Powell has delivered a stark message saying that the Fed will likely impose more large interest rate hikes in the coming months, and is resolutely focused on taming those highest inflations in the 4 decades. So I don't get it. I don't understand when people are already, kind of hurting, you're squeezing even more. So you do want you don't want people to buy more, or you don't. When they're not, you lower the interest rates. Don't really understand that part, because I think the American people are already squeezed enough as it is, but somebody have to break that down to me and explain the whole how interest rates and all that works when a country is pretty much in a recession, and then you're raising interest rates. I don't know.
Yeah, that doesn't make sense to me either, Byron. I'm with you on that.
You know what I'm saying? So to kind of segue to this next story, active shooter kills 2, injures 4 at a Kentucky homeless shelter. 2 people were killed and several were wounded. Police believe this random shooting attack at a men's homeless shelter in Western Kentucky was at the hands of the man that was identified as Kenneth B. Gibbs. And they believe that he was a former tenant of the shelter. Right now they don't have any rhyme or reason. The town's name is Henderson, Kentucky. And the gentleman, Mr. Gibbs, was 37, and he's 37. And so there's no clear motive of why he took this position to go in and just start shooting up. But there was a survivor that, basically mentioned that he came in one room and he saw him flip the lights back off and went into another room, and the gentleman heard 9 shots. before escaping out a window. So, prayers to the people of Henderson, as well as the governor the governor of Kentucky has made tweets about supporting the families and the people of the town. But another active shooter event, which is not too far from one of the bases that I'm very familiar with, Fort Knox, Kentucky. And my last story, Secret Service recovers $286 million in stolen COVID relief funds. These loans were meant for small businesses, but were discovered that they were siphoned off by fraudsters using thousands of stolen or fake identities. So this is just like the tip of the iceberg of just randomly finding that much money has been stolen and been frauded. So this is just something that's on the way. I'm telling people, that PPP loan, getting out there and getting these things, saying that you're a business and that you've been hurt to get that money, it's coming. It's kind of like with the IRS, it's coming back around and it's gonna catch up with you. Yeah. So, but that is it for me in national news. And before I leave again, People's Funeral Home, they're here when you need us. So please give them a call at 850-482-2233. 850-482-2233. Again, that's People's Funeral Home.
Okay. Well, we'll move on to sports. I want to just kind of hit on just a wide range of sports that's happening in and around our county. We have football going on. We have 4 high schools here, so make sure you find a way to support, one of them. You have Marianna has a football team, Steeds has a football team, Graceville and Cottondale. So make sure that you find a way to go out and watch some Friday night football under the lights. So I'm sure you'll have a treat. And then we also have volleyball going on now. We have 3 of the teams. We have Marianna has a volleyball team, Sneeds, as well as, who's the other one I missed? Oh, no, that's it. Oh, Cottondale. Can't leave out Cottondale. Alma Mater, yeah. So Cottondale, Sneeds, and Marianna, they all have volleyball teams. So volleyball action is in full swing right now. So make sure that you grab a schedule. We'll try to post a schedule on our website if we have not already. And then we also know that, your NFL is starting, Byron. We have some NFL games coming up this week. Yeah, I want to make sure that everybody, some of the preseason has started. So make sure that you know that. But we'll post that and we'll talk about some of our upcoming, local games. And I say local, I'm talking about like, the NFL teams in Florida, Jacksonville, Tampa. Yeah. And then of course, some of us like Atlanta. So we'll talk about that too. So, but just stay tuned and we'll bring you all the latest, scores and actions and highlights right here on Bottom Line with Ron and Byron. What do you have for entertainment?
So real quick for entertainment, Michael Jackson's family is fuming after the musical title of The King of Pop is being attempted to be, kind of ripped away from him. So Rolling Stone just put out a tweet and saying basically Harry Styles is the new King of Pop. Now, don't get me wrong, I've heard a few Henry Styles songs. I'm like, okay, I ride with this, but that is nowhere in the same sport, let alone ballpark. It ain't even the same feel of level of Michael Jackson. And Taj Jackson, that's the eldest of Tito Jackson's children. That's his son. He put out a tweet and he basically said there is no new King of Pop. You don't own the title, Rolling Stone, and you didn't earn it. My uncle did. Decades of dedication and sacrifice. The title has been retired. No disrespect to Harry Styles. He's mega talented. Give him his own unique title. So I'm with him on that one. I'm not calling him, just saying it because it's his uncle, but I mean, let's be honest. Michael Jackson. People that don't even listen to that genre of music know Michael Jackson hits. And love him. So it goes beyond his all his multiple talents. And mind you, he never acted, never did movies like that. It's just music and his talent just transcended the globe. So I ain't feeling that. The next story, Capitol Records. Capitol Records just pulled a plug on what is deemed a racist AI rapper after barely a week. So Capitol Records came out with an artificial intelligence rapper, and it got, you know, reamed on social media for basically projecting gross stereotypes. This AI rapper name was FN Mika, and got its support from virtual music label Factory, you know, New, and its co-founder Anthony Martini. It was trying something, and it got a lot of backlash for it. But it just shows you how execs and people in high levels view, you know, rappers and the imagery of rappers. And this AI rapper was using a voice from another unsigned rapper, and you know, using the N-word, things of that such. So they even got images in the videos of police beating them and stuff like that. So it really didn't come off well. And it kind of shows where we're at, even in virtual reality, where we're at in the nation, as far as the imagery. And that imagery is a lot of it has to do with how these rappers are doing, you know, how they're projecting themselves and how they're projecting the whole culture and society. Which brings me to my next story. Fetty Wap and Young Thug are facing years in prison. So these are two of hip hop's biggest stars in the past decade that are now facing years behind bars. Fetty Wap, which he came out, and I want to believe it's 2015 with his biggest breakout, Trap Queen. He is facing 5 years has a maximum of 40. He pled guilty to conspiracy drug charges that carries a mandatory 5-year sentence. Young Thug, who slowly built himself into one of the largest artists, he's facing he's in a YSL RICO case where he's facing charges from renting a car that another gentleman was killed out of. So it's a big case in the hip hop community. A lot of people know about it, and it just, like I said, just speaks to what the imagery of these Black youth are seeing, what they're perpetuating, and then to what, you know, some like Capitol Records, what a big industry looks to. And we can't, you know, I'm a big accountability guy. We have to look at these type of things. Music is not what it was in the 90s. It's not what it is today. It's almost like selling drugs and doing stuff like that is glorified. You can hear a song and then you see the videos and it's like, man, it's completely different world.
Yeah, some of it's rough to watch. And like I had the conversation with somebody else. Whenever you listen to music and it's laced with profanity or vulgarity, you know, you lose the message, you know, you really do. So that's just, you know, that's an unfortunate part, because sometimes there is a message there in the words and the lyrics, but you lose it because it's just kind of covered with all kind of the delivery is just kind of
and there's no message anymore. You know, I can take you know, cursing and stuff like that if you got a message in there. There's no message in there. And I hate when they try to use artistic, you know, freedom and things like that. You know, a lot of times it's a lot of fluff and a lot of finesse, and accountability. We got to get back to that. I'm guilty of, when I was young, I, you know, caught myself rapping and stuff like that. It was, you know, you trying to perpetuate something that you think everybody want to hear and see, but really your real message is, you know, is not that. So it's not that of you. But to say the least, this is something that we didn't even see coming up, you know, and it's a lot of rappers getting killed. It's a lot of rappers getting killed lately. And I'm definitely not used to that, you know, so. But that is it for me. Yeah, that is it for me and entertainment.
All right. Well, I want to, before we go to relationship tea today, Byron, I want to just kind of make sure I mention this. And I don't know if you know this, but during our elections this week, Jackson County had a 31% voter turnout. So I just want to throw that out there. I don't know if you think that's good or bad, but that's the number, and I want to make sure everybody knows that. And then, but I don't know if I mentioned that the U.S. Senate race, Val Demings did win that race for the Democratic primary. She won by 84%. And then so she'll face Marco Rubio in the general election. And then for the governor, Charlie Crist did defeat Nikki Fried, and then he will face Governor DeSantis. So that's where we are with that. I want to make sure that we don't leave out our congressional races. All right, so let's move on to our relationship tea topic. Last week, we did discuss To get more, you have to do more. And so this week we want to talk about just a little bit. How do you do that and stay focused? So I'm just going to go ahead and put it out there. In order for you to stay focused, you can't look to the left. You can't look to the right. You can't be around a lot of riffraff. You can't be distracted. You got to know the plan and know your goal, and just kind of look straight forward and keep it moving. I mean, I think that's the best way to, as we say, get your bag, and to grind, is to just kind of stay focused and not get discouraged when you hit bumps and hiccups during the journey, because you're going to hit those.
I agree.
Like something's going wrong, or it's not going right, or it's just kind of, but a businessman told me the other day, he said, slow is show, fast won't. I was like, I'll take that with me. Slow is show. That won't last. Yeah.
That's funny you say that, because I was coaching my son's baseball team this past year, and that was one of the things I used to tell the kids, and it's one of the ditties of mine that we learn in military and infantry and shooting and stuff like that in tanks. Is slow is smooth, smooth is fast. And you take your time. But the sidestep a little bit, another point that I would make, I would say, two things, and kind of caveats on what you mentioned, having a that tight circle, even if it's just one person, to keep you focused on that goal, on that grind, because it's something that you're grinding to. And a lot of times, like for me, I'll kind of, something else will come along and I'll get all into that direction. And I need somebody to say, hey, remember what was your original goal? That and life has some twists and turns on you where you can kind of get down on one thing, but completely forget that you got something, straight in mind. And the other one is, it can get a little frustrating. It can get a little stressful when you have that grind mode. You'll be going 100 all the time. So you got to come up with things, whether it's physical fitness, whether it's reading, something to keep you, grounded, but not stress you completely out. So those two things I would say are good ways to keep you focused. You definitely need to make sure you got a good support system. Well, like I say, even if it's one person, to keep you on point.
That is true. So there you have it. We just gave you some good advice on how to stay focused when you're trying to get your bag. That seems to be the catchphrase. So, all right, Byron, I think we're going to wrap this show up. We've given them a lot of information this week. I want to make sure that you understand we do appreciate your support. Continue to watch and let us know when you see us on the streets that you do watch Bottom Line with Ron and Byron. And we're going to end the show today and say, remember, when you know the truth, you can speak the truth. And the light shines brighter when it shines for two. We'll see you next week.